here. A couple of details. And you could just make a quick list there in your notebook. I realize that's a little monotonous just writing down names, but please be aware, okay, of them. You got the Irish, you got the Odd Fellows, Our Lady Help of Christians Cemetery. That's the Catholic Church Cemetery. John, now don't cry. Got it? Okay. Write down a little quicker. So there's 7 altogether. Which I think is pretty interesting. Union, of course, refers to Civil War. Well, I'll show you a couple of pictures here. We'll zoom in a little closer. Again, I'm not going to ask you to know every one of them, but if I, just to mention them that you're a little bit familiar with them. Okay, we good? Yep. Okay. All right. Here you can see the picture. I'm going to ask right away, Grace. Do you know what this one? Which one is this one? I think that definitely is, but I'm not sure of this one. Could be. And just so you know, Russian, yes, the Russian immigrants, also Ukrainian, came, and they came. What do you think they came to the Americas, especially this area of the state? John? Yeah, to work in the coal mines, yes. Okay. Pretty cool as you go out through there. That, I believe, is the Catholic cemetery, as you can see the cross there. But again, they all border each other, and I'm not exactly sure which one's which. That's the Irish out in the woods there. Okay, now this is the church that I told you about. Yes, I was playing around with the effects, the graphics. But this is the old version of the Catholic Church that runs on the Irish side. I think that's pretty cool in and of itself. That was taken back in 1961. The Catholic Church in Lycans actually also had a school. Okay, they had a Catholic school there also. Some of you may remember Dr. Lentz from Lycans. Dr. Lentz, he actually attended the Lycans school, the Lycans Catholic school. Quite a big school. Quite a few people went to that school. Those that didn't go to the Lycans school went to the Catholic school. Okay, and that's part of the cemetery. Again, just show you some pictures. This is the Holy Ascension Church. Now, this is the one that's down there on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that North Second Street there? That's the Holy Ascension Church, and I don't think that this is still open. Do you know? I don't think it still is. Yeah, well, it was open about, I'd say, within about 5 years ago for sure, but the amount of members was really dwindling. In fact, at one time, I think they had 12 people for a service. So it really started, the population really started to decline there. But nonetheless, I think that's pretty cool that we have the Russian Orthodox Church. And I'm not going to ask you to write this down, but just to show you a little bit of background on the church. And I think that's really interesting because not only does it talk about our local area, but it shows about how, the people came here. It shows U.S. history and not just local history. Seth, if you would, we read through that, please.
From Galicia, Ukraine, Austria-Hungarian Empire, like the modern conveniences, the medical treatment came to America for work, religious freedom, European.
Okay, so the European influence pushed people out. Okay, that's a push factor. And you guys are familiar with immigrants, yes. And the religious freedom, that's something we're very much familiar with. And work, as John said, in the coal mines. So I think that's pretty cool how we can take this small church right here in Likens, but can relate really to U.S. and world history. John, do you feel the power? Do you see the connection? Do you see that? Not only U.S. history, but world history. Yes. Get fired up. That's the way to do it. Okay. So you can see 60 family heads came together to vote on the building. They put the building up. By no means am I going to hold you accountable for that. But let me back up here. You want to talk about U.S. and world history. Does this look at all familiar to you? Austria-Hungarian Empire. If you've had U.S. history too, it should look familiar to you. It really should look familiar. Why should it look familiar? Anybody know? Something really, 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 really important happened there in 1914. Something really, really, really important happened there in 1914. Troutman. World War I begins. Does anybody know who was assassinated? Yeah, the Austrian Archduke, Franz Ferdinand, by a Serbian, and that's what started the whole war. Gavrilo Princip was a Serbian. Okay, so again, I think we can relate. Now, John, do you really feel that power now? You see this? And people are coming here to get away from the wars and all of that and to work in the coal mines. Wow! Seth is excited. You see it? And even, look at that, Easter of 1914. That's when the war starts. I bet those people are glad they were over here and not back over there. Master, you got it? You see this? Who wants to try this? Nobody wants to try. Anybody brave? Go ahead. Lithodius. Nazvischunk. I don't know. Okay, so they purchase the land, and then, of course, they get the church built. There you can see a little bit more. I think that's really cool. Okay. The rectory, that's where the priest lived. It is beautiful. I've been in there one time. Okay. Actually, a student brought in these slides and put it together, the story, and then invited me to go to the church, and I went and visited. That's been, probably 10 years ago. But it is really beautiful inside. It's a beautiful church. Shame if it closed, but nonetheless. Stained glass windows, etc. Did have the 100th anniversary, as you can see there. Despite the stock market, you can see the high child mortality. That should be mortality rate, actually. There you can see today. Now, this was about 5 years ago that she did this, and about 5 years ago, there were only 16 members. So, obviously, the population dwindling. Okay, we'll move on from there. I just want to show you this. This is the Likens Mansion. I talked about this before with the coal mining. This has nothing to do with the church or the cemeteries, okay? But this is up on the hill there. And the Likens Mansion, that was once owned by a coal mine superintendent. I don't know who lives there now. I think the same lady lives there now. It is posted because she doesn't want people driving up her dirt road. People drive up there, and she just doesn't like that. But it's private property. But very nice lady took me through there. Went on a tour. I didn't take pictures. I should have, but pretty cool. That's the Likens Mansion, and that's up on the hill there. Almost, if you think about it, like a straight line above Boyers, up on the mountain there, up on the hill. Okay. Like in school, of course, we've talked about this before, and I drove by, and this is all gone. Gone. Just a vacant lot now. Yeah. I didn't realize it was all gone, though. I know they were tearing it down, but I didn't realize. Are they building anything there now? Did they start anything? I didn't think so yet. Yeah, I did hear that also. But that's gone. Used as an elementary school, and then it was closed in 1989 officially. Just a little bit more information. Don't worry a whole lot about it. Look at the salary when it first opened.
40, 60.
Yep. Go ahead.
If you ever wanted to look in there, there's actually a video on YouTube about it, like for the like in school.
I think I did see that, but thanks for reminding me. We can do that kind of as a bell ringer, maybe. Thank you. You don't need to write all this down, but remember though, one thing I did mention: the auditorium gymnasium was built by the WPA, just like built the Likens Wiccanisco School. Of course, it had seen its better days, and then of course it was torn down. Okay, let's talk about Love Rock. Love Rock. How many have been there? One person's been to Love Rock. Nobody else has been there. Really? Love Rock is actually very easy to get to. Okay. If you take a look here, you can see the borough of Likens. Obviously, this is 209. And if you come out here, okay, here's the ball field. There's your Glen. If you come up to this row right here, and now you have to be a little careful because you do walk right by one person's backyard to get there. So you are on private property. Now, once you get over in here, it's not. But then you just walk up. It's just a little bit of an incline. It's nothing big. Grade. I mean, it's not like you're walking real steep. And then you come over here, okay, to this area right here. So here you can see the trail going up. Nothing major. Heck, if I can do it, you can do it. But nice place nonetheless. Just be very careful because when you get to the edge of the rocks, you don't want to go boom. Okay. There are signs there. Okay. Pretty much easy to get to. But there you can see where you're looking out over. This is what I was talking about. This is where the Native Americans sat and watched. And there's one over here too. I know that some people do sit down in that thing, but again, you can see you're looking straight down. So I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. So let's do this. Go to the Likens reading there. Go ahead and turn the lights on if you would.